Is your fire department the wild, wild west where everyone seems to be out for themselves and less working as a cohesive group? Well, today we're going to talk about why that happens and why most departments create the perfect storm of conditions that kind of trigger people at the end of the day. Welcome, hotshots, to Firepower X. This is a place where we help you stay one step ahead of stress as a firefighter. I'm Jess. I'm a former firefighter and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. What the heck is that? That's a personal trainer for your mind. On this channel, I give you mental performance tools and strategies to help you stay unbothered at work and at home. I want to preface this by saying most departments aren't aware they're doing this. There are a lot of things that go into running a fire department. There's a lot of things to pay attention to: payroll, people, admin, keeping up with policies and procedures, all of this stuff. I understand it gets distracting. But what happens in not understanding mental performance as an organization is that it trickles into everything else. And what we create is the perfect storm to drive away the good people, to trigger everyone else, and to create conditions that aren't ideal as a group that is there on a mission. So we're going to talk about how we can get everybody moving in the same direction. So you're going to recognize this if you work for a department that is like this and what exactly needs to be fixed about it. The three keys of mental performance are always the same things: your attention, the narrative, the story you're telling about the situation, and then your habits. What is happening in most fire departments is, first and foremost, everyone's attention is scattered. Everyone is paying attention to their own interests as an individual. Naturally, that's what happens. Some people are there to climb the ladder. Some people are there to play politics. Some people are there just because it's a job and they're just showing up to get the paycheck. Some people are there because they like the heroic aspects of the work. Some people are actually being altruistic. Some people, this is a generational thing, and their father, grandfather were firefighters, and so they're there too. Everybody's got their own interests. And so the attention of the group, we look at it from the group perspective, is extremely scattered. Now, because everyone is playing different games here, essentially, when we go to their habits, we're going to get to narrative in just a second, but the habits then are also scattered. Because if your goal is being there because you identify as a third or fourth generation firefighter, your habits are going to be different than someone who's there just to play politics. Your behaviors are going to be different than them. So you are there because of the love of the job. You are there honoring the traditions and taking it seriously, where someone else playing politics might be there with habits that are a little bit more nefarious. They're there to form alliances and crush their enemies. You're going to have different behaviors. So what does this look like as a group then? It seems very disorganized. Now, the third thing of the perfect storm that's typically missing from most fire departments is, what are we about? What are we about as a tribe, as a group? So many departments have core values. They come in when you are a new hire and they pound them into your brain, or they're printed on the fire trucks, but that's where it ends. They don't actually live it. They can't behave it because they're not paying attention. That was a box that got checked. They set them up, they establish them, they announce them to everyone, but then they don't enforce them. This is the big problem. They don't enforce them, they don't live them, because everybody is off distracted by their own interests. If there was a core narrative, everybody would start to be united as a group. If you're not managing this narrative, if you're not holding people accountable to whatever it is we stand for, it's typically going to morph into something negative. It's going to go into the mouths and the minds of your people. And typically it's going to be like, oh, our department's all about the money. Or they're all about getting ahead. They want to get accreditation, but they don't really care about us as people. So your people are going to develop a narrative of what you are about from the inside. And it typically isn't going to be positive, because our brains love to focus on the negative. We love to fixate on the negative things. And what they're going to fixate on is probably one of the organization's weaknesses. This environment creates chaos. It creates chaos for people. It's unpredictable. It's not cohesive. people feel deep down they're not really safe. They never know what other games people are playing or what they're after, and they have to learn the hard way by trial and error. When we're in a group, we learn who we can trust and who we can't trust, who is in sync with our goals, who is not in sync with our goals. We learn this the painful way. That kind of unpredictability at work, combined with the volatility of the work that we do in the fire service, is the perfect storm. People feel, again, like they don't know who to trust. They're not well. I don't know if my department has my best interest, right? To have all these doubts. And then for their own triggers, weaknesses, the stuff that is deep down inside of us to get stirred up by chaotic environments. That's naturally what happens. So how do we fix it? How do we get everybody on the same page? Because that is really where the most successful teams get it right. When you think about a sports team that really had a winning season, you're going to see that all of their people in the interviews, they're going to all be like, our goal was to win at all costs. We're under the same goal of we are going to win the championship this year. That was it. There was no other goal. There was no other wiggle room for anything else. When you think about a frat house or a sorority, the ones who are all about partying, they succeed. They throw the best parties because that's what they're all about. They are all about one thing, the mission, whatever their mission is, whether it's good or bad. A successful team is united in its mission. Everyone's attention is not scattered, but is going to the mission. Everyone has dedicated themselves to the mission. They have given themselves over fully to the mission. Their behavior reflects that. The way they speak also reflects that. This is the fix. Here it is. Unite your people under one mission and don't accept anything else. This is the linchpin. When you really get a clear narrative, a clear rallying cry of like, this is what we're about and this is our tribe. And if that isn't your goal too, there's a door later. We don't accept anything else. That is our social norm. And that's it. There are no other options. That kind of clarity. And you may lose some people when you first implement this because everyone's used to running their own ship. If you're a leader in the fire service, you might get some kickback. But you know what happens? Again, with any other good tribe, tight team, the people for whom that goal doesn't feel good for them, they are going to quickly fall away. And then everybody else is really going to get behind that goal. Everyone's attention is going to line up with that goal. And then their behavior is going to follow suit. You see this in high functioning departments. You really do. Some of them are all about high performance. Some of them are about call response time. Let's get that down as low as possible. But when everyone is there for the same reason, that's when everybody feels good. They feel safe. It's predictable. They know what is expected of them. There's no guessing or trial and error or surprises when one of your brothers or sisters stabbed you in the back because they wanted that captain spot more than you did and they were going to do anything to get it. And now you feel betrayed and stressed out and questioning your position in the fire service because you didn't see it coming. This is it. This is the catalyst of having a high functioning team, is getting everyone on the same page with this is our mission, this is what we do, this is the norm, nothing else is acceptable. And if that isn't okay with you, we understand, but maybe you should go find another fire department. That's what it takes, is that having those consequences as well in terms of behavior. Because if everyone is doing their own habits and it's not supporting the mission, again, you devolve into chaos. So get your shit in order. If you are in a volunteer department, a career department, it doesn't matter. This is what it takes to get everybody's stuff in order. Have a clear mission, make it the norm, and nothing else is acceptable. That's it. That forces people's attention and their habits towards the mission and nothing else. Everyone stops being free agents and they start acting as a cohesive group, a cohesive tribe, a cohesive team. It's good for the department. It's good for your people. Again, that predictability, that stability is what helps people focus, what helps them stay and feel safe, what helps them know what is expected of them. And that lack of guessing, that lack of surprise is helpful when you have a job where the volatility is high and you never know what's going to happen. You can tolerate it better when you know what's expected of you and how the rest of your team is playing and what they're doing. So let me know what you thought. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.